There are a lot of things that has been happening in the UK at the moment, especially immigration wise and that of economy wise. Things are tough, things are very hard, and so on and so forth. And I'm sure a lot of people will be asking, is it really worth it at this moment to come to the UK? And so if you're interested to know if it is, then I would say stay tuned and let's get straight into it. That's the topic for today. Hi everyone, so you're most welcome back to this channel. My name is Celine, and over here we'll talk about my life in Scotland, UK, and my experience in general. So if this is something you really want to know much about, consider subscribing to my channel. Yes, so the question for today is if it is really worth it coming to the UK, considering what has been happening in the UK at the moment in 2023. And my answer will be a very big yes. And these are the reasons why I say yes. Now, UK is a very developed country. And as a result of that, the standard of living in UK is very, very certain. That's to say, if you're in the country, you know that certain things are in place. For instance, if you're living in the country and you haven't some crisis or other things, you are able to consult the government for some assistance, which other countries or other developing countries do not have this opportunity. Moreover, there are places like food banks, there are financial support that the government gives out to people that are actually in need. So if you're in a developing country and you're thinking of relocating, so that's the first one we will talk about. And moving on to the next one is jobs in the UK. Now, in the UK, no matter what happens, if you're really looking for a job to do, you would definitely find a job to do. Unlike certain countries where there will be the majority of, let's say, students completing their education and still not having the opportunity to get jobs. The UK is not like that. If only you want to have a work to do, there is always that chance of getting a job to do. And if you have a job, that means you're having a promising future. So if you still want to come to the UK, yes, it's absolutely a good choice and it's worth it. Our next point is education. Now, when you come to the UK, amazingly, education is free for every child. So if you're a family person and you're bringing your kids to the UK, you should know that you wouldn't have that burden, that border of waking up to think of, oh my God, I've not paid my school fees I've not paid this fees for my child, and so he or she will be sacked from school and that kind of a thing. UK is like, it gives free education, I think, from infant to the university level. Especially in Scotland, when you're here, you go to, like, you have free education till the university. In England and other part of the UK, I'm not too sure of it, if the university part is also free. But I know in Scotland, you have total free education from nursery to the university, which is an amazing thing because it lifts so much from you as a parent. Okay, so if you're outside the UK, you're in Africa or any other country and you're thinking of coming to the UK, I will say yes, it's really worth it. Do not think twice. Yes. Our next point is security. In the UK, I can say that security is something that you can rely on a little bit compared to other developing countries. In the UK, hardly will you see bigger walls putting across houses and so on. But houses are just there with just a door, all right? But other countries, if you don't have bigger walls with a very giant door, the possibility of you being robbed in the night is very high. So that is one thing you will also want to consider if you want to relocate to the UK. Your safety actually helps you, because if you know that you're going to, if you're going outside and you're secured where you're going, it actually helps you, gives you a free mind to actually plan what you're doing or concentrate on your daily job to make more success for you and that of your family. So security is one thing. You will not want to be at a place where you know that in the next minute you can probably lose your valuables or even your life. So in the UK, I can say that it is much secured because, yeah, it's much secured compared to other places. Yeah, so that is why I actually think in 2023, if you're still thinking of relocating to the UK, it is really worth it. No question about it. Now, the next thing I'm talking about is, in over here, I will say the system works. When I say the system works, I mean the system works. In the UK, hardly would you find somebody not obeying the law and just going like that. It doesn't really happen. If they say category A have to be this, it's like it just have to be like that. The system is such that it doesn't know anybody. It just does what it has been programmed to do. So in this case, if you are in the country, the system actually works as it's supposed to be. So if there is nothing like discrimination whatsoever, so you are able to get whatever you want to get because the system works for you, and that alone, it's peace. All right, yeah, it's peaceful because other places do not have that. Their system doesn't work. So even if you over here, if something happens and you need the police, if you give a call, in just the next minute the police will be there for you, no matter what's happening. If you call the ambulance and other things, the next minute they're there for you to give you the needed assistance that you want. In other parts of the world, it's not like that, right? I've heard other stories where people lost their life as a result of they not having the ambulance coming in time. There have been instances where armed robbers have come to people's houses, taking whatever they wanted as a result of the police not getting there in time. Okay, so that alone, I would say, if you have the opportunity to come to the UK, do not think twice. It's worth it. Just come, because over here, if you're sick and you call the ambulance, trust me, in the next minute you will have the needed assistance that you have. The last, not the least, the last one will be what I want you to wait and see, because it's something you wouldn't want to miss. Now, then the next one I'm talking about is the health. The health sector. In the UK, I don't know of other parts of the UK, but in Scotland, it is total free for you to go to the hospital. All right, if you go to the hospital, if you're sick and you go to the hospital, you do not have to pay for anything. You're being treated, you're being given whatever you need to be well again. Yes, I know this is across the whole of UK. Yes, so if you're sick, in other parts, I keep saying other parts because I know there are so many countries that do not have such things. They're still developing anyway, and so for this reason they don't have such things in place. So if you find yourself there, you suffer the most. But over here, when you're sick, when you're not feeling well, or even if you're going to give birth, everything is absolutely free in the country. So if you're sick, you go to the hospital, they treat you absolutely free, no matter what is wrong with you. So far as you go to the NHS, they will take care of you without taking the time from you. Okay, guys, so these things are actually just to let you know that if you have the chance to move to UK, don't think twice, because they say UK is pretty hard and so on. All right, there are so many things in the country that can actually help you be successful if you're in the country, because peaceful mind is a successful mind. Yes. So the last one I'm talking about is that in Scotland, for instance, if you go to the hospital and you're given a prescription, you go to the pharmacy and it's absolutely free. You have a free, you can also go to the dentist for free in Scotland. Okay, so in as much as they're saying the country is hard, I always say that there are certain parts you can actually also find in the UK that are pretty less expensive. And Scotland is one of the places that I would say, if you're coming to the UK and you're thinking of a place that you can find comfortability and less expensive areas, then Scotland is the area for you. So you see, all these things coming together is why I think coming to the UK, even still in 2023, is still worth it. Irrespective of the government changing the immigration rules, irrespective of the economy being harder and so on and so forth, I think it's still worth it for you to come to the UK if you have the opportunity, or if you're living in a country which is not that developed or do not have such things in place as I've mentioned. Then consider coming to the UK and you will have a better life for you and that of your family. So guys, it was amazing having you on my channel. Every time, it's your girl Celine, and it was an honor to have you. If you have not yet subscribed to my channel, consider subscribing. And if this video was something you really enjoyed, I would say give it a thumbs up, and let's wait for the next video. So till we meet again in our next video, I will say see you again. Bye.